Hi there, this is Iain from Offbeat Studios in Edinburgh. I'm going to be testing a plugin today called Monolith, and it's claimed to be the very first automatic mixing system by AYAICinc.com. Now, if this works, it's going to be a really useful tool for people, particularly if you need to mix in a hurry for some project you're working on, or if you're just learning to mix. If this works really well, it'll be able to demonstrate to you how your track can sound and how the levels should work. So this will be fascinating to see if it actually works on this track that I'm working on just now. So let's give it a go and put it through its paces. Okay, so here's the track I'm going to be testing the plugin on. It's got real drums, a couple of drum samples as well thrown in. It's got a double track bass, acoustic guitars, electric guitar, electric violins, synth triggers, piano, and some backing vocals. So it should be a good test for the plugin to see what it does. Now, I've put a balance together here quickly, just what I think this track should roughly sound like in the balance. It'll be interesting to see what the plugin does. So let's have a listen to my mix of this so far. Okay, so there's a reasonable amount of elements there for the plugin to deal with. So let's go through the procedure now of how to set up Mix Monolith. Okay, so we're going to open up the mixer now, and we're going to apply one Mix Monolith plugin to each channel. So let's start off with the mono channels. Let's get them sorted. So put one in here for bass drum, snare drum, and we've got sample snare here. Great. We'll just copy that one in there because it's going to be stereo as well. The hi-hat's mono, so let's copy a mono one in there. Toms are all mono. Overhead's mono as well. Okay, now let's put one in for the bass. It's stereo as well because I've got a stereo plug-in on it. Let's copy that over there. Acoustics are also stereo because they've been bounced together. So is electric guitar because it's a stereo plug-in. And then synths are also stereo. Violins, yep. Pianos, yeah, stereo as well. Backing vocals, it's a stereo mix. And that's it. So now the thing to do here is to set up each one individually. And what we've got here is a source, and we're going to tell Mix Monolith what it is we're dealing with here. In this case, it's a kick drum. So go to factory presets, go to drums, and then let's put in the kick drum. Now it sets each of these target LUFs to what the plugin assumes is going to be the right level for each of these instruments. And this is obviously how it manages to mix them as well. So we can see here that the kick drum is minus 25 LUFs. Let's just open up the snare drum and do the same thing. Go to drums, snare. You can see that's minus 25 LUFs as well. Then we've got another snare here. So just have to go through the whole process. This is a sample snare this time. And so is this one. Okay, then we've got hi-hat. Then we've got 3 toms. Tom 1. Just replace that. Replace that as well. Then we've got our overheads. Overhead dual mono. As you can see, the overhead's minus 38 LUFs. Okay, then we've got bass guitar, electric bass, yep. And as I said, I've got a bass overdub, which is just kind of doing an octave thing. So again, it'll be under bass, electric bass, guitar, acoustic guitar. Just call it electric guitar. Electric violins. And then we've got synths. So let's go to synths. And it's a bit of a trigger synth, this. Let's call it an ARP synth. And again, it's minus 30 LUFS. Pianos. Grand piano. That'll do. And then the last thing is backing vocals. Go to vocals. Backing vocalist doubled, yes, more like that. Okay, so that's everything set up. Now, what we have to do now is we have to make everything go to 0 dB. So if you've got any automation on this, you have to do this pre-fade. But in this case, there is no automation. So let's just set everything to 0. Now, obviously, this mix is now going to be a bit of a mess because it's going to be completely unmixed, in fact. And I'll just make sure by turn my master fader down a bit. Now, the next thing to do is we have to set Mix Monolith to learn everything that we've just set up. So what we do is we go to this function here called learn all channels because we're going to learn this all at once. So let's just click learn. Now what we have to do now is play back the entire track through the learn function. I'm going to turn the fader down because it's not going to sound very pleasant. Okay, great. So now is the moment of truth. So let's open up our Mix Monolith. Now, if I just open up the kick drum one, and then I go to all channels down here, it's going to apply this mix to all channels. So now I'm going to click on the mix, and we're going to have a listen to what has happened to our mix using Mix Monolith. Well, that's pretty impressive, I think. How it's managed to do that, I have no idea, but it is incredible. Now, what you'll find is here the master fader has gone a little bit over, so you might want to, select all your tracks and bring them down by the same amount, just to stay within your headroom there. That's our first test for Mix Monolith. Hope you enjoyed that. Thanks very much for watching. Bye for now.